Well, hey there everyone. This week I'm going to be doing some skirts for my wardrobe because I have been sewing a lot of like princess stuff, but I can't exactly go out and wear that in public. I mean, I could, but so I just wanted to make some more stuff for like my wardrobe. And the other day I was wearing this skirt that I got from Goodwill, and I was like, I like this. It's like a nice, above the ankle length kind of skirt, and I was like, I kind of want to make some more just like it. So I picked up some bed sheets from Goodwill. I picked up a tan one, and then I picked up a generic brown one, and then I picked up one that I thought was green. It was gray. The lights in Goodwill have fooled me. So I actually don't think I'm gonna sew with that one this week, but I'm gonna be sewing with the tan and the brown one. So for what I was thinking for the tan one was kind of like 18th century teacher vibes, perhaps. I've been wanting to do one of those for a while, so I think I might do one of those. And then for the brown, I'll probably just end up doing a generic looking skirt, all about the same length, with like buttons going down. Just something casual I can wear out. Yeah, so I just wanted to spruce up my dark academia vibe, or light academia, either one, for this fall. Even though it probably won't be that cold, I still want to look cute and vibey, so I'm gonna be doing that. It's gonna be a little bit easier this week. I just really wanted to spruce up my wardrobe, and I want to stop being involved in fast fashion, so I want to kind of spruce up my own wardrobe with stuff that I hand make or thrift. And I know exactly what I want, so we're gonna do that. So let's get to some sewing. So for this first skirt that I'm going to be doing, which is the like 1800s teachery style skirt, I'm just drafting out the yoke, which is the top part of it, the little triangle at the top, on the trusty old corset pattern. I'm just kind of using that to get my waist measurement, rather than measuring my own waist, because I know that this fits pretty well. So I'm just giving it some shape at the sides. I'm giving it a little diagonal, and then once I do that, I make sure I go ahead and label everything that's on it that I need to know, what piece it is, whether it's the front or back, what size it is, and how many to cut out of each material. After looking at the piece on myself, I actually did go and shorten the pattern just a little bit, just to make it fit my body a little bit better. Then I went ahead and labeled all of those things again. Now for the back, I just did the same thing. I put it over the back corset pattern and just put the front yoke that I'd already drafted on top of it. It's basically the same thing twice, except the front is going to be on a fold, but the back is not going to be on a fold, because that is where I'm going to have it close. So the long edge is going to have a little notch in it, so that when it's sewn together, it makes a nice point. I decided to use the same material for the outer fabric and the lining. So you just take those, you take the front piece and unfold it, and then take the two outer pieces on each side and pin it, and then you'll sew it. I ended up fixing the sewing, so it kind of, when I sewed it together at this angle, did not make a straight line, so I ended up sewing it at a straight line rather than where those curves are. Once the outer fabric and the lining are sewn, you are going to place them right sides together, and then you're going to sew around all of the outer edges, everything but the bottom. once you sew those together, you're just going to trim around the outside edges, just so it makes it a lot easier to turn it inside out and a lot neater. So after you do that, you're just going to turn it right side out. For the skirt panels, I used the yoke as a draft for the angle that I needed to cut this at, except I'm cutting it a bit of a longer length for the angle because I want it to have a lot of ruffles in it, so I have to cut it out a little bit. And so the front piece is going to be cut in a fold, and then the back piece I cut the same angle and everything, except I did cut those pieces into two. So there's a total of 3 panels on this skirt. Then what you do is you sew the 2 side panels to the front, and I'm doing a French seam, so you sew it, trim down the edges, and then you encase that seam again and sew it. Now this is my favorite new thing that I've learned. I think I've heard somebody call it the lazy man's ruffle or pleat or something like that. And basically what you do is you pin your big sheet to, say, your waistline, like I'm doing here, your waistband, and you pin it evenly across it, and then what you'll do is you'll just kind of ruffle it as you go. So I don't do a gather stitch or anything. I just leave it loose and then I ruffle it randomly myself and then just sew on it, and it actually looks really good when it's done, and it's super easy. After trying on this skirt, I decided it wasn't flowy enough, so what I ended up doing was I seam ripped the sides up to about 3 inches from the waistband, and I ended up inserting a triangle like you see me cutting out here, just to give it some more flow and give it some more space. Onto the next skirt. So basically what I do for the panels of this skirt is I just kind of use what I have with this bedsheet. I think it's a king size bedsheet, so it gives me a lot of width with it. So pretty much I'm just cutting out 4 panels of whatever material I have here, about 37 inches. So once I measure everything out, I go ahead and cut off all of the hems that they had, and then it leaves me with one big piece, and then I cut that piece in half and then in quarters. Once I iron the pieces out, I go ahead and sew them together like I did the other pieces with a French seam. So again, I sew it and then encase it after trimming along the edge. Next, so this skirt is going to have buttons along the front. So the entire front I rolled hemmed both ends, and so that's a nice sturdy place to put my buttons and put my buttonholes. So I'm just sewing on each side of that hem. Next, what I do is I just cut out a generic waistband about 40 inches in length, and so what I do with that is I will basically make a massive bias tape to work onto this skirt. Now again, I'm using the same technique, except I am sandwiching it inside of the waistband instead of sewing it to the outside. So again, I just kind of gather it up and I stuff it into the waistband and I close it up and sew it. And then it turns out really good and it's really easy. Lastly, I hem it and then I position the buttons to put the buttonholes and sew the buttons on, and then the skirt's done. I've literally had these shoes on for a grand total of like 5 minutes and my feet are already killing me. I'm a croc gal, okay? They have spoiled my feet. Anyway, so I think these both turned out really good. I think I like this one more than I like the first one, but I do still like the first one. It gives me very much teacher vibes in the 1800s. And I like that. Or adventurer, based on like the khaki color. And I'm okay with that too. This one's very nice, very, basic, but still like vintagey kind of look. Both are very comfortable. Took like a day, half a day to make, because it was just like a skirt. So yeah, I didn't show too much of the process because I was doing both skirts, but it's a little bit of each process. Pretty much just cut out rectangles, ruffle it, and throw a waistband on it. I like the length a lot. I've never really gone for this length. I've usually gone for like floor length or like an above the knee to the knee kind of look. But the like mid shin, and I'm digging it. Also the fall dark academia vibes are there. I've achieved it. I just need to make more because I can't just wear 2 skirts this entire fall wintry season. I have no idea what I have planned for next week. I usually don't until the week or day of. But I have some ideas floating around in my head. A couple of projects I do need to get done with material that I already have. So I need to stop going to Goodwill and buying material. You can't stop me. Anyway, so I hope you liked what I did this week. It was kind of an easier, more vibey week than costume week. Anywho, if you like what I did this week, go ahead and like and subscribe because I have more coming your way. I post most Fridays at noon. I did have to post late last week because my video, I keep like putting off editing to the next day, and then when I edit like the day of, the video doesn't have time to render and do everything before it is time to post. So I did have to post a day late. So I post around Friday, around noon. I'm trying to keep it on a schedule, but it's not going very well. Anyway, thank you for watching.